Tonight, an extended water supply interruption which affected residents in the north of the island is being cited as one of the major challenges encountered by firefighters in the effort to save a Tiroshe dwelling house. The St. Lucia Labour Party hosts its first market step meeting to give an account of government's stewardship to supporters during its term in office. And ICAR continues to lobby for reparations for its members.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Daniela Edwin.
Good evening. It is Friday, June 2nd, 2023. I am Daniela Edwin. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We are on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and the Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. Not forgetting those of you using the Hot 7 plug and play antenna. Thank you for joining us. An extended water supply interruption to consumers in the north of the island has been described as a major contributor to the list of challenges that hampered the efforts of emergency personnel in fighting an early morning fire. The incident occurred at Tiroshe, where a dwelling house and a motor car were destroyed. Press Relations Officer at the St. Lucia Fire Service, Stacey Joseph, says, fortunately, no injuries were reported.
Officers at the Fire Service headquarters responded to a call relating to a structural fire at Tiroshe in Castries at approximately 5:25 a.m. on Friday, June 2nd. Emergency personnel found a single-story wooden dwelling structure fully engulfed in flames. Due to the water shortages in the area, the fire suppression team encountered some difficulty, which resulted in the assistance of fire officers from the Babono Fire Station relaying water to the scene from the Hill 20 water catchment facility. The structure and its contents were completely destroyed, as well as a vehicle which was parked in close proximity. No persons were reported injured as it relates to this incident.
Hours after the launch of the first phase of universal health care in St. Lucia, the Philip J. Pierre administration took to the market steps for their first public meeting since winning the 2021 general elections. Presenting itself as a government of the people, SLP parliamentarians highlighted the administration's accomplishments so far during its current term.
The St. Lucia Labour Party took to the Castries market steps on Thursday evening to present to its supporters a list of deliverables since taking up office following the last general election. The event took place under the theme Delivering Opportunities for All. Among those listing the government's milestones were MP for Castries South East Joachim Henry, who highlighted increases in government support for the poor and indigent, as well as social protection programs. Further, party MPs highlighted infrastructural upgrades to facilities in the north of the island. As well as government relief for victims of the November 6 flash flood. In taking a swipe at the opposition, MP for Gros Islet Kenson Kazime criticized the United Workers' Party over its march for democracy when the Alan Chastanet administration discriminated against constituencies in what is termed the Belrose Doctrine.
Can you imagine saying on public TV that the 30,000 St. Lucia Labour Party voters who voted in the previous election, because they did not vote UWP, that their constituencies did not buy into their philosophy? And so no work was done in their constituency, leaving all these people to suffer, yet you speak of democracy.
Meanwhile, Minister for Education Sean Edward highlighted government support for the nation's children through the One Laptop Per Child program, which was introduced by the SLP administration but was stopped by the UWP.
We were the ones who introduced the One Laptop Per Child program. Ek nou bay laptop by mama l'école. Pas because laptop c'était un bagay qui était fashionable, mais direction la terre te aller. Il partait assez pour qu'instruire maman en les chalkboard seulement. Et tout partout en la terre comme monde te fait succès éducation, yo te bay maman l'école laptop. And that is why a St. Lucia Labour Party government introduced the laptop program.
Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Eldridge Charles.
The Rastafarian community has been a marginalized group for several years, as the call has come for reparations for slavery from the world's superpowers. The Rastafari community has made a claim to the government of St. Lucia to compensate them for the wrongs visited upon them from as far back as the 1950s.
The Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, ICA, has taken a bold step in restoring pride to the Rastafari community. The council has issued a request for reparations from the island's government for the injustices endured by its members in the early days of the movement. As far back as the 50s, 60s, and 70s, Rastafarians in St. Lucia had been subjected to discrimination simply for their beliefs and the way they chose to wear their hair. Persons sporting dreadlocks were frowned upon by society and barred from certain professions regardless of their mental prowess. One of the statutes of the movement, the use of marijuana, has been the source of much suppression for the community. Smoking of marijuana remains illegal in St. Lucia, though the action was recently decriminalized. Emmanuel Alexander, Public Relations Assistant for ICA, says, the organization has put forth a proposal for reparations to the government of St. Lucia through the Marijuana Task Force for the years of marginalization that the community has endured, a situation which still persists to some extent today.
We just finished putting up a proposal together for reparatory justice for the Rastafari community to go through the task force to the government of St. Lucia. The task force is the Cannabis Task Force. Because we realize that we've been marginalized, we've been discriminated. We've gone through a lot of atrocities, and we have not been recognized. So we realize that we need to get reparatory justice, and that's what we're working on with the state of St. Lucia.
Shala Emmanuel, another member of the Rastafari movement, opines that reparations will be a first step in repairing the damage done to the movement after years of discrimination by the state.
There are many reasons why we should be reparated, right? Or paid reparations. Like I said, the injustices that has been served against Rastafari, the illegal imprisonments, the imprisonment for meager amounts of herb, just for wearing dreadlocks, because Rasta was like almost an outcast at one point in time. With all the consciousness that we brought to the world, we were still and are still being marginalized. And this has been going on from time immemorial. So obviously reparations would be one of the ways that they can compensate for all the ills that have been committed against Rastafari.
Reporting for the Hot 7 TV News, I am Eldridge Charles.
Still in the first segment of the broadcast, the POV. The POV provides you, our valued viewers and listeners, an opportunity to sound off on trending issues in the news only from your point of view. Government rolled out the first phase of the much talked about universal healthcare. While maternal healthcare was already free at healthcare clinics around the island, officials boast that the latest initiative will allow expectant mothers access to free ultrasound and blood work services. It is hoped that the measure will provide incentive to citizens of healthy childbearing age to take advantage of the free services. Our question to you is, how do you feel about the rollout of the first phase of universal healthcare?
Well, I think it's a good thing, especially for expecting moms who cannot afford, because currently doing an ultrasound, it's a lot of money. Getting labs done, it's a lot of money. Well, what can I say? For me, I wish I could have gotten it because I'm expecting, but I'm private. But then I read that it's like you have to be going to the health center or something. Oh, well, Yeah, but I think it's a good thing actually for expecting moms.
That's an amazing thing. That's a good thing. I mean, when you really look at it, there are some mothers who cannot really afford. As a matter of fact, we're talking about services like ultrasound. I've heard that there are girls who cannot even afford sanitary napkins, okay, at a particular time of the month. So for the government to be putting something like this out at this point in time, I think it's an amazing venture, and like they say, it's the first phase, so I'm looking out for the other phases. It's excellent.
If that's what it is, that's what it is. You know, you can't help it. You that in the system can't help that. It's how they place it, how they put it. That's what it is.
I think it's a really smart move. It's a very clever move on the part of the government, because you cannot roll out the whole of UHC at one time. That's madness. We're going to wait 20 years for them to roll out the whole UHC. But what they did was they gave us the one set of things that half the population needs one time. It's really smart. It's a really clever political move on the part of the government, but it also serves the needs of the largest demographic group we have in St. Lucia.
Very impressed, because you know what? To make baby, you must be able to feed baby. You don't just make baby and you see the state of the country.
Good afternoon.
So I'm not very impressed.
Coming up next, supermarket giant Massey Stores supports entrepreneurship, and the Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, ICAR, promotes food security.